Okay. So our today's topic is exceptions to the law, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a small PPT that I have prepared. So let's start with it. Are you able to see the screen?
Ma'am, you have to click that share screen icon.
Yeah, I've done that. Are you able to see? It's still processing.
No.
There is some problem. Yeah. Okay, is it visible now? Children, is the screen visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So we come to the exceptions. Exceptions of the law. What do you understand by exceptions, children?
Um,
If it's an exception, what do you mean by exception when you're talking or when you're having a conversation with someone? When someone says exception, what does that mean?
except for that thing.
Except for that thing. Correct. Kanchan? Kanchan, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So did you understand what means
Yes, ma'am.
exception of the law? That is, the law is applicable when the price increases and decreases, but there are certain exceptions to the law. Okay. So, which means there are some rare situations, okay, other than mentioned in the assumptions. What is the Y effect? Kanchan, what means Y? Kanchan, we did this yesterday. What is Y?
Ma'am, why is the income
Income. Very good. What is PR?
P
PR.
price
Price of, R stands for
uh, related goods?
related goods. Excellent. T stands for Melissa,
Tastes and preferences.
taste and preferences, and there should be no change in near future, change in the price of the commodity. Okay, when the law of demand does not apply. These are the certain situations and exceptions that we did yesterday. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now they have been explained in detail. First stands for given goods. Okay. What are given goods? Given goods are those goods on which a consumer spends a very large part of his income. Okay. Which means again given goods would stand for an important commodity. Correct? That is where we are expending or spending a lot of money on a household commodity. Okay, so that is termed as given goods. Now for example, what they've given over here is bread with the British people. If you refer to your text, Is has everybody come?
No.
Ali and Atharva are missing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Kanchan, I need to see you, child. Kanchan, please switch on your camera. I need to see you. Okay. In terms in terms of given goods, where they have given an example of bread for the British people, they have given an example over here. Come to the seventh line from the bottom place. Okay. Did you get that?
Which one?
Melissa, the British example, the British workers had bread as their main item of consumption. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Kanchan. Okay. They had British workers had bread as their main item of consumption. As the price of bread went up in the market, what happened? They could not afford to purchase meat. Why like this? When the price of bread is increasing, why are they giving an example of meat? What has bread and meat to do with it? Okay, okay, take it in our terms. If we are having chapati, okay, so you are having dal and chapati. Is it that you're going to just have chapati?
No.
No. That is why they are relating bread and meat. So it is but obvious if they want to consume bread. But what will they have bread? They want a substitute also. They want something else also to go with it. Okay. So they're having bread and meat. See why they're giving an example of British or US. Normally they don't eat chapatis and tortillas. Okay. They have more consumption of bread. So the main consumption of commodity out there is bread. The main consumption of commodity over here in India is rice.
Yes.
Okay. We have chapati. At times for a breakfast we have bread, but it's not on daily basis. Correct? That is the only reason why they are giving of bread an example over there. Okay, so as the price of bread went up in the market, what happened? They could not afford to purchase meat. Why? If bread ka price is increasing, they should stop consuming bread. Why are they referring it to meat?
They just substituted bread with meat.
Yes, they can substitute meat, okay, where they are uh, terming bread as a superior commodity of consumption. Superior means something higher, okay, and inferior means something lower. That is why when they are terming, they are comparing bread consumption and they're comparing the meat consumption. Okay, so they literally like to say that they can reduce the amount of consumption of meat, but they don't want to reduce the consumption of bread.
Bread.
Okay, why? Because bread they're consuming practically every day. It is one of the most important meals that they are considering. Okay, so since it is termed as a superior item of consumption, so they substitute bread for meat to maintain their intake of food. Okay, like for example in India it is termed as in barley, oats, corn. Okay, have you ever seen people consuming barley every day, or oats chapati, or like you see wheat or jawar? Okay, they don't consume it, whereas those are the most healthiest options where we should be consuming those things. But then even in India we take it as inferior, and superior ones we consider as wheat. Like you are having a wheat chapati or a roti, like a tortilla is basically called as a tortilla. So that is where Indians term it as very superior, whereas you should be consuming barley, oats, jawar and all such other items. Okay, so are given goods clear? Superior and inferior. Kanchan, clear?
Yes.
Okay, next is, what is the next exemption?
Prestige goods.
Prestigious goods. Okay, in other words, you can also call it as article of distinction. Prestigious goods, from the name itself we understand. Ali, please join in fast. You can mute yourself, but I need to see you. Switch on your camera. Okay, prestigious goods, from the name itself we come to know expensive goods, okay, such as jewelry items or expensive clothes, expensive watches, cars, ACs, correct? Where their price may make the rich people to buy less. Why do you think when the decrease of such products makes the rich people buy these products in less quantity? If the price of an expensive watch, supposing you say, okay, the way we have the smart watches, if the price is reducing, now let's talk in terms of rich people, okay, extremely people who like to show off and like, just buy expensive things. We're talking about those people. If the price of these luxurious items is decreasing, is falling down, why do you think they will buy less and they will not buy more? They should be buying
Because
more.
they're not satisfied. It's like they want to show off that they can buy stuff for
Yes,
high price.
yes, basically show off. I didn't want to mention those things in written over there. Basically show off. Okay, it's like they don't, now they start feeling that okay, fine, since the price is reducing, maybe the quality is also reducing. So, people of the mediocre class can also buy it, and even I can have the same level as the mediocre class. And that's the reason why now they will buy those commodities in less. Okay, so there, this is also an exemption where the law of demand does not apply in terms of luxurious products. Okay, understood this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Third is ignorance. Ali, are you able to see the screen? Okay, okay. Ignorance. Okay. Now this thing is not mentioned in the book, but it's only for your understanding that I've stated is blind faith. What do you mean by blind faith or ignorance?
Without any fact, you're just believing it.
Without any fact, without any logic, or without even seeing, like, whether it is profitable for you, people just want to buy it. Why? Because it is expensive. Okay, so the same thing is stated. Sometimes consumers feel that, expensive products which are, they are better in quality, so they go and buy it, even if in case it is expensive, even if in case they are not able to afford it, they're not able to buy, the income effect, the y effect, still what they do is they go and buy it. Why? Because it is expensive, and maybe because it is expensive, they feel that it is of good quality, correct?
Quality.
Even when you are just passing by a food stall, okay, it's human behavior that you have this audacity that where you find a lot of people going and buying something, you feel, oh, maybe the food out there is good, correct, without even you going and having a look at it or even tasting it, correct. You have that mentality that okay, fine, if it's expensive, it is of good quality, but most of the times it does not turn out that way. Okay, so this is one of the other exemptions that is ignored by the consumers, that you need to see the price as well as the quality and the quantity of the product. Okay, can you move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next point is the necessities. Okay, the necessary food items where the law of demand does not apply. The necessary food items, that is medicines, food grains, salt, no matter what the price is, you cannot compare or you cannot sacrifice on these consumptions, correct? Medicines where it's a necessity in the family, you let it be young or let it be the old ones, if they are bound to medicines or some kind of ailment, no matter the price being high or low, you cannot compromise on these consumptions. So you have to pay whatever amount is applicable for it. Okay, you cannot ask for a discount. You cannot bargain with the price with the person who's selling it. Okay, you can't say like, oh bhaiya, if the salt is for 20 rupees, please give me for 15. Can that happen?
No.
No, that cannot happen. Okay, that can happen in other commodities where you can ask some kind of like discretion, or you can compare, or you can substitute a good that is for a
Mm.
soap or a shampoo or some other commodity or clothes maybe for that reason. But when necessary items are there, that is grains, food grains, medicines, salt, oil, and all these things, you cannot have a substitute, and you have to purchase it at the given price, no matter whether the price is high or whether the price is low. Okay, understood with exceptions?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll move ahead. Okay, now we come to the changes in demand. Okay, there are two kind of changes. They've been categorized under two groups. One is, it is stated even in your course books if you want to refer, movement along the demand curve. Okay, or you can call it as change in the quantity demanded. See, as in my personal experience, what I'd like to tell you all is, like, you could refer to the second part. Okay, that is change in quantity demanded or change in demand. Okay, so the first one, when it states movement along the demand curve, you could also be asked a question in terms of change in quantity demanded. Okay, and the second category is shift of demand curve or a change in demand. Okay, so just like you have to learn these two concepts, otherwise you won't be able to memorize them. Coming to our very first, okay, change in the quantity demanded. The very first distinction that we have in it is expansion in demand. Okay, it is also termed as expansion in demand. Again, expansion in demand means the demand is increasing. Okay, so again it terms as expansion in demand refers to a rise in the quantity demanded due to the price, okay, due to the, okay, due to the fall in price of the commodity, other factors being equal. What are the other factors?
Income, tastes and preferences,
Yes,
population.
please remember those 4 points forever. Okay, what are those 4 points?
Income, tastes and preferences,
Price of related goods.
and population will also.
Okay, okay, very good. I just lost the screen. Okay, so the expansion in demand refers to a rise in the quantity demanded. Okay, so the quantity demanded is always expressed where, on the x or the y axis?
Um,
On the x-axis. Okay, I had explained this earlier, and we'll be doing that in detail now. Always the quantity demanded is on the x-axis and the price of the commodity is on the y-axis. Okay, so the expansion in demand due to the rise in quantity demanded. Okay, when is the quantity demand increase?
When the price falls.
When the price falls. Okay, so the other factors have to be equal. That is, there should be no change in my taste, in my preference. There should be no change in the price of other related goods. I should not substitute my product with anybody. Okay, again, the population factor also should not be affected. Okay, do I shift to the other slide?
Yes.
Okay, we have the other factor also termed as contraction of demand. First, we had expansion, which was to increase. Okay, now we have contraction. Okay, again, if you just go by the, are you all able to see me, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, as the term itself, the word says expansion means to increase. So contraction, what would be the word itself which is defining means contraction? What would it be? If expansion is to increase, what means contraction?
Decrease.
Decrease. Automatically when the demand decreases or comes back. Okay. So what are next? In my screen. Ali, are you there? Where have you gone?
Ma'am, he left the meeting.
Okay. Contraction of demand refers to a, please read, Melissa.
Contraction of demand refers to a fall in the quantity demanded due to a rise in the price of the commodity, other factors being equal or constant.
Okay. Other factors always now in these terms have to be equal and constant to fall under the category of contraction or expansion. Okay. Whether the quantity demanded is increasing or the quantity demanding is decreasing. Increasing is termed as expansion and decreasing is termed as contraction. Okay. Now what is happening to the quantity over here in terms of contraction of demand?
Quantity is in fall. There's a fall in the quantity.
Yes, there is a fall in the quantity due to a
High price.
high price. Okay, that is again inverse relation or direct relation, Kanchan?
Ma'am, inverse.
Inverse relation. Again, the price is increasing, quantity is decreasing, and in terms of expansion, what is happening? The price is decreasing and the quantity is increasing.
Increase.
Please.
Okay. I hope this is getting clear because these are the theoretical concepts which you have to apply in the demand curves. Okay, this is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Now you come to the shift of the demand curve, okay, which is change in the demand. Again, refer to the second part. It gets more easier for us to understand. Shift of the demand curve. This occurs only when the demand changes due to the
Other
changes.
factors.
No, read what's on the screen. Demand changes due to the,
Factors other than change in price.
okay, due to the factors other than the change in price. This is important to understand. You can take that as the key word. Demand changes due to the factors. Again, it is expressed in the form of either increase or decrease in demand that we just did. Okay, increase is expansion, and another word for decrease is
Contract.
Contraction.
contraction. Correct, contraction. Very good. Don't hesitate, children. Whatever you know, answer. I'm always there to help you. Okay. Increase in demand. Again, this is important. If you want, make a note of it. Increase in demand, which means the demand curve in such a case will shift upwards to the right. Okay, again, that is the keyword that you have to make a note of. Will shift upwards to the right when there is a rise in demand due to the change in factors. It's there in your course books also. If you want, you can mark them down. Okay, we are on the, I think, 6.2, shift of the demand curve.
Yes.
Okay, see, it's there after the increase in demand, the highlighted thing. It's demand in such a case will shift upwards to the right. Okay, when there is a rise in the demand is increasing, x-axis, you can see, you can refer to the figure. Okay, the demand is increasing, so what is happening to the shift? It is shifting upwards to the right. Other factors have to be equal, they cannot change, only the price changes. Okay, clear, Melissa, Kanchan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we come to
Yes.
the decrease in demand. Again, decrease in demand, another word is contraction in demand. Over here, what will happen? If there is a positive, that is, it is going upwards to the right in terms of increase in demand. What will happen in decrease? It will be negative, and automatically the demand will shift to the left and it will come down. Correct?
Yes.
I've lost the screen. Just a minute, please. Yes. Melissa, did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Kanchan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the contraction again, it will shift down, it will come to the left. Why? Because the demand has come down because of the increase in price. It is again inverse relation, increase in demand, you see the above point, the curve will shift upwards, it will shift to the right. Again, for decrease or contraction in demand, the curve will shift downwards and it will come to your left.
Ma'am, if this is all occurring due to the change in price, and in the definition is written, it changes due to factors other than change in price.
Yes, see over here when the demand falls due to the change in factors other than price. I've stated over here, even in the screen that I've shared over here, increase in demand and the decrease in demand. What happened earlier was in contraction, it was only due to the price and the other factors were constant, correct?
Yes.
But when we come over here to the shift of the demand or the demand change, okay, what happens over here? There is a rise in the demand due to the change in factors, but not the price. Okay, that is the other factors are changing. Maybe the price of related goods has changed, or maybe my taste or my preference has changed, or maybe my income. Okay, there is a change in my income. That is why the increase in demand or the decrease in demand takes place.
Okay.
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 Okay. Okay. Now let's come quickly to the increase in demand. We are done with the increase in demand and we are done with the decrease in demand. What I would expect you all to do is, children, okay, of these demand curves. Okay, fine. I'll put that in your worksheets. Never mind. Okay. Now when you have the next is causes behind the shift of the demand. Correct? Changes in demand is done. Yes, increase in demand, decrease in demand is also done. Correct?
Yes.
Causes behind the shift of the demand curve. The very first cause, like we already discussed this earlier, is the change in income. Okay, what will happen due to the change in income? Higher my income, what will happen to the demand?
Demand
Melissa,
will increase.
yeah. Melissa, unmute yourself. It's okay.
Yeah.
Kanchan, yeah. Okay. Higher my income, what will happen to the demand?
Increase.
Increase in demand. Okay. Now, if you are saying increase in demand, if I put in inferior goods and superior goods, so where will my demand increase then?
In superior.
Superior.
In superior goods. Excellent. Okay. So this point is also clear. And it could be vice versa. If my income decreases, then where would my demand increase? For which kind of goods?
Inferior.
Inferior.
Inferior goods. Okay, very good. Next, you have change in price of related goods. Okay, there are two types of related goods that we've already done. First is substitute goods, and the other is
Complementary.
complementary goods. Okay, you can take an example of tea or coffee again for in terms of substitute goods. Okay, the demand curve for tea, it will shift to the right. Why are they saying it will shift to the right? Now we've done two kinds of shift. One when the price increases and decreases, and the other factors. Okay, when the price is still the same, but my other factors are getting affected. So over here, when they're saying the demand curve for tea will shift to the right, it will shift upwards, it has a positive shift. Why like this? Try to give a logical explanation. Why are they saying that the tea and its demand will shift upwards? Why not downwards? Why not left? And why not a negative slope?
Ma'am, because the price of coffee is rising, so the demand for coffee will also go down. So people prefer tea more.
People will prefer tea. Why? Because coffee is expensive. Okay. And the price also increases, but the demand of coffee will go down. So automatically the demand of tea increases. Okay. It's very natural. Tea or coffee, even if you compare in terms of, a very logical term, when you're buying tea at a stall, it's for 10 rupees. But if you're buying coffee, it's for 20 rupees. Correct? Even if in
Yes.
case you're buying tea again for 10 rupees, but you're buying cold coffee, it goes for 40 rupees. You're buying cold coffee with ice cream, it goes for 50 rupees. So what would happen the demand of coffee comparing to tea?
Demand of coffee is decreasing.
Demand of coffee will become less and demand of tea will become more in terms of price. Now comes the
Right.
other factors. Okay, now is my taste and my preference. My mother wants to have tea, but I want to have cold coffee. Now this comes my taste and preference. So what would happen? My personal demand for tea would decrease and for coffee would increase. Correct? Why? Because of the other factors affecting other than the price, where I do not have to consider price. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. The other point is change in taste, like what I just explained, change in taste and change in population. Again, change in population, like what we discussed in the past two episodes. Change in population, again, where there is a high amount of people consuming the same commodity, coming for the same commodity, what would happen to the demand? It would increase, and automatically demand for the other commodity would decrease. Okay, again, for the change in population, people have to prefer the same amount of consumption of the commodity for the demand to increase or decrease, like what they've mentioned over here. Increase in population would shift the demand curve to the right. It is shifting to the right, it is shifting upwards, it has a positive slope. Okay, whereas decrease in population will bring the demand curve to the left. Very natural. Market demand curves for a large number of commodities to a great extent, and in India has shifted to the right. Obviously, it has a positive increase and it has a positive slope. It has increased to the right side. Okay, so are we clear with these increase, decrease, other factors, price? Why is it shifting to the right? Why is it shifting to the left? When it shifts to the right, it has a upward shift. Okay, from here it shifts over here. Okay, so it has a upward shift, it has a positive slope, and it has a increase in demand. Whereas when it's coming down, it has a downward shift, it has a left shift, and it has a negative slope. You understood? It has to have come in three concepts. When it is going upwards, it is up, positive, and right. Okay, and when it is decreasing, it is down, it is negative, and to the left. Clear? These three concepts have to be
Yes.
very clear. Okay, so we are done with this. Now next we have the distinction. Okay, this distinction is the same. Tension of demand and increase in demand. So probably children, we are done with our first lesson. This was challenging enough for you all to understand. Okay, I'll be sharing this PPT as well. I'll add in some more diagrams to it where you can understand the shifts and the slopes. Okay, otherwise all clear children with the first lesson?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no problem. Can I have a small assessment?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just plan out how we can have this assessment, and probably we'll start with the fourth chapter. Okay, like what I had told, the second and third chapter is all about supply and demand and all these shifts. So I practically need to show and get it done with you. So probably it won't be possible in a virtual class, but as and when school reopens, this would be the first thing that we'll be doing. We'll start with the fourth lesson for your next class, that is probably on Tuesday. Okay, please just read the fourth lesson, it's very easy. It's just factors of production. Okay, yes, it's factors of production, basically land, labor, capital. Who's an entrepreneur? Okay, entrepreneur is an enterprise. He's the one who owns the business, who's running an organization. He's the risk taker. He's the risk bearer, and very basic concepts. Okay, so nothing to do with these demands and shifts and everything wants. But try to read so that we could just cover it up as soon as possible. We can. It's a very basic concept and very logical concept. As of for the first lesson, see, I actually want you all to be very thorough and clear with these demand curves, demand shifts. Why left, why right, why up, why down. Okay. The other factors you have to remember it forever. You have to remember marginal utility. Okay. What was marginal utility that we did yesterday? Diminishing.
Diminishing marginal utility. The pizza example.
Yeah. Go on. Quickly. What is the diminishing marginal utility?
Hmm.
That the demand, see, explain it in your own words, that the demand of that commodity reduces or diminishes with every extra unit that I consume. Okay, my extra unit over there was every extra slice of pizza that I was consuming. Okay, another example you can give on your own is of tortilla or chapati or roti that we call. Okay, when you're sitting for food, okay, after a long day of workout. Okay, there are three chapatis. First, you are extremely hungry, you just finish it in no time. Second chapati also you are having at a faster pace. But you slow down at the third, you ask for a fourth one where you're not able to eat. So with every extra unit, my consumption or the value of that commodity decreases. Okay? So don't forget these concepts, these are the basic
So,
ones.
ma'am, what is the exact meaning of unit in here?
Unit is every extra unit that I'm consuming, every extra chapati that I'm eating, every extra slice of pizza that I'm taking, even for in terms of basic commodities, that is wheat. Okay, wheat or rice or whatever you're consuming, every extra thing which you're consuming, the value of it diminishes. Okay, so you're purchasing